All right, I'm excited to put this video out, man. It took me a while, and it took me a lot of digging. This is April 8th, 2024. I decided that I need to make sure that everything I'm learning is all for a reason, and I had to believe it. I had to see it to believe it. So I decided that I was going to take this little sandy area. I was going to carve out a 4x4, and I was going to turn sand into soil. And that's everything that I've been taught by Elaine, Matt Powers, and everyone in my regenerative world now. So I had just received my microscope, and this is what this looked like under microscope. This is at 5 times speed because it's obviously boring. There's a couple specks here and there of organic matter, but nothing, not enough, and no bacteria, no biology. The water, there was a lot of compaction at the bottom. So I drenched this with water, and it would take a while for it to drain. So I knew what I needed to do. I needed to take a shovel, and I need to turn this. I needed to till it up and get those weeds out of there. Those weeds are there because of the alkalinity in the sand. They're there really to protect the soil and the sand and start rebuilding soil. The OG obviously loves water, and I can't get him away from the water. I cannot use the water hose without him just interfering, and that's okay. Here's the tillage. I took the shovel, pulled out the weeds, and I turned it shovel deep. The spade actually, I was able to push it all the way in, and I flipped it. And from here, I took out the weeds, and I dusted compost. I mean, that is not a lot of compost done here. It's what I had. I worked it in with a rake. And then I needed to cover it. And what I happened to have was pine bark, knowing now that that's not the best option. It's better than nothing. And here's my brewer, my very first brewer. I've changed my protocol since then, but all the same, I was trusting the microbes, and I was trusting everything that I've been learning. So I knew that I needed to get this biology into that sand, that sandy soil. I don't even want to call it soil, it was sand. And I drenched it. I threw the entire 5 gallons into that. And this next part is extremely important. In its simplest form, a plant will take sunlight and CO2 and create sugar. It takes the sugar, it pushes it through the roots, and it feeds bacteria, telling bacteria what it needs in return. Bacteria will go to our native sands, silts, clays, organic matter. It will take and find and break down what it needs, minerals, nutrients. And once that bacteria fulfills that order, then it needs to be processed. And it cannot do that on its own. It has to be eaten by a predator. This is a bacterial eating nematode. Ciliates, protozoa, microanthropods. These are all predatory microbes that eat bacteria, and their waste is in fact the amino acids and the nutrients that the plant asked for and needs. You can literally see all the little dots in this nematode. That is the bacteria. And what you're looking at right now is actually June 8th. So here we are 2 months later, and the difference is already day and night. Finally, those little squash plants died because it got destroyed by bugs. So here I had some starts, some okra starts. I had no idea what it was. Never planted it before. I needed roots in the ground. All right, here we are, August 16th. This is what's going on. Look at this roselle just fully expressing itself. All right, this storm just took down these 2 okras, so I gotta reinforce them with these bamboo, strengthen them up. Oh, look at my roselle too. Oh man. Okay. Yeah, bro, I'm officially like that crazy lady in that meme where she's holding her tree. Luckily, I had this bamboo. All of it fell over. It got so flooded that it just kind of all tipped over. So I had to secure all this shit, and all these peppers on this one thing has like 6 peppers on it. But it's nice out here, man. I'm good with it. All right, it's August. I think August 23rd. I'm gonna call this project a wrap. This thing growing in sand with a bunch of biotonics, bio tea, all the stuff that I whip up here. Diogi agrees. The roselle is absolutely going nuts. The peppers I just harvested again, they're still giving me peppers, albeit small. The seed programming, I believe, should be the real deal. So hopefully they get used to growing in this sand. And this season, I'm gonna take seeds from those fruits or vegetables and then grow them again in the sand. Hey, check this out. So this is my roselle plant. It's gone pretty wild here. It's growing in between the okra, and this thing was probably 1.5 feet tall when I planted it, but it's taking over all of this and it's putting out this flower. And then once it flowers, that flower closes up and then it becomes what they call a calyx. A calyx. Basically, these little, here's a bigger one. I can actually probably harvest this one just to show you. See that? This is called the Florida raspberry, but we know it over there in Mexico as Jamaica. This is where we make that jugo de Jamaica. You take the calyx, you peel off these little leaves. It tastes like a raspberry, and this is how they make that Jamaica cold beverage and tea. So it turns out to end up being a pretty cool plant. It's going crazy. Look how much of it is growing. This is what completely sucks about growing in Florida. I was so close to harvesting this plant, and you know, you get a storm, and this is what you deal with, man. There was a roselle. Look at it, it's gone. All right, so here is where I'm at as of today. And today is January 28th, 2025. I put a couple starts in maybe 3 weeks ago. And these little peppers, man, look how cool. I just noticed this. Like some type of purple pepper. But look how small it is, man. And it's already doing its thing. Now that little tomato, that's a tomato. I don't know what's going on with that guy. But look at that. And then here, I don't know what this is. This must have carried over from something. Some kind of melon or something. Can't question it, man. It's rocking. All right, so you know I had to do a final soil sample. This was done about 2 days ago. So what are we, January 25th, I think I did it. And look how fungal that is. That's one thing that I was super happy to see and surprised me, is how fungal this little area became. And that's maybe a testament to my fungal bruise. And I have hyphae all over it. I've got nematodes, so I've got all this nutrient cycle going. The soil is becoming regenerative, and I've got, this is a diatom there, which is a photosynthetic. Look at this guy. This guy is cool. I have no idea what this is. I'm gonna have to do some research on it, but it is beneficial. You can see all the bacteria in it, which means it's eating bacteria, it's cycling, and it's getting that back into the soil, and once it's processed. But I need to find out what that is. That looks really interesting. So this proved everything I needed, and as I learned through this process, you know, I the same way a lot of you are starting, that's what I did, and I had to believe it. I had to see it to believe it. That's just who I am by nature, and I'm 100% convinced, and any one of you that have met me know this. Feel free to reach out to me. Any questions, I'll be more than happy to teach you. Hopefully this video inspires and understand, and gets you to understand that this is how we're forced to grow, and you know, we need this sand, and microbes take minerals and nutrients from it. We just need to add organic matter, and we need to add microbes, and the power's in the microbes. The key is in the microbes. I can't say that enough. You know, they're not the only thing, but it is the most important thing, if you ask me, because anything that needs to be processed in the soil is going to be done with microbes. So yeah, there are some macro and micro elements that we need, trace elements, yes, absolutely, and some that are already there. But let the biology figure it all out, and it will do it as long as it's in there. I'm glad you guys tuned in if you watched it all the way, because this is important to get this out there.